platform, it's Rowan. Today, as you can probably tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated 2020 new book releases. There are obviously so many of them throughout the year, so what I've done is just on the first few months, ones that we've already got all the proofs and copies for in the office. If you want to be up with a chance of winning a selection of these, then go to the description. I'm going to have some info about a giveaway down there. The first book we're going to talk about is I'd say kind of wins the prize for most highly anticipated. It is One of Us Is Next by Karen M. McManus. If you aren't familiar with Karen's work, she does like YA thrillers, the absolute queen of what we are calling the killer thriller, essentially. If you want to actually hear her do some writing tips, if you want to write thrillers yourself, it was a video from last week, so I will leave a link to that somewhere on screen. This is a sequel to her book One of Us Is Lying, set at the same school, only this time there is a sinister game of truth or dare being played, one that is going to have much more serious and maybe deadly consequences than the standard truth or dare that you might play at a sleepover. Okay, what is the next one? The next one is, put that there, this one. The next book we're going to look at is what has been called a YouTube thriller. So this is actually a copy of the proof. On the front, pretty much sums it up. 1 killer, 13 victims, 1 million viewers. So a girl's mother is one of the early victims of a new serial killer called the Magpie Man. And so to try and lure him out, she starts streaming her life online. The question is, does that put her in more danger, and will she become a victim herself? So the next book is Foul is Fair. Now, the word I'm going to use to describe this one is controversial. So I'm going to read you now a few quotes that people have said about the book, and you can make up your own mind. Feminist man-hating filth, garish and unnecessary, don't buy this for your daughter, and radical and necessary, fierce, vicious and electric, and buy this for every teenage girl you know. So this is a story of Jade. She is attacked one night when her drink is spiked, and afterwards is out for revenge. So I would say if that description is intriguing, then pick up the book yourself and make up your own mind. The next book is The Night Country by Melissa Albert. So this is also a sequel to her book The Hazelwood. This is for someone who's a fan of dark fairy tales. I don't want to give too much away because I don't want to give away the first book for people who haven't read it, because you absolutely should. Essentially, the first book starts with a girl whose grandmother dies alone in her house. Her grandmother is the author of these dark and twisted fairy tales which have a big fan base. So this is a continuation of that story. Zip, that's all I'm going to say on the subject. Pick it up if you think dark fairy tales are your jam. For the next one, we'll finish up our kind of sequels on the list. All the rest of them are standalones. But this, we obviously had to include Conference of Birds. So this is the new book by Ransom Riggs in his Miss Peregrine's series. Again, I know, I don't want to give anything away, especially if you're looking to read the rest of this series. But I can tell you there is a prophecy. There is maybe the apocalypse. There are new characters. It is a great time. If you're a fan of the books, got to pick this one up, and if you aren't familiar with them, then maybe check it out. The next book on the list is called Run Rebel. So this actually isn't the final cover, this is just a proof. The final cover though is beautiful, so definitely go and check that out. So this is a little bit unusual because this is a novel in verse. So as you can see, it's all poems. So it tells a story like a novel would, it goes through a story, but it's all told through poetry. It is about a girl called Amber who loves running track, and it helps kind of free her from the worries in her life because of the family pressures that she's under. So it kind of follows her and her journey. The next book that we're going to recommend is actually a comedy book about a girl who wants to be a comedian. It's called Pretty Funny. So this is about a teenage girl who wants more than anything to be a stand-up comedian, but isn't sure that that is something that girls, especially girls that look like her, are meant to be able to do. So instead, when she gets the opportunity to write for someone else, she takes it. But are they manipulating her? Are they taking advantage? How is she going to step into the spotlight herself? Read to find out. The next book on the list is Anna Kay, and as you may be able to tell from the proof copy, it is a modern retelling of Anna Karenina. This book takes the story from its original Russia and transports it into modern day Upper East Side New York. So you're expecting kind of parties and glitz and glamour and romance. Anna Kay, she is a girl who knows the rules of this society off by heart. She is the most popular, she's the most rich, but a chance encounter with a notorious playboy in Grand Central Station may change all that. Our second to last book is one for if you want to discover a new author. This is by debut author Cameron Garrett. It's called Full Disclosure. Full Disclosure is about a girl called Simone who's HIV positive. And although her family have always said to her, well, the safest thing to do is to not have sex at all when she meets a new boy that she kind of falls for, that suddenly is on the table. It's an amazing story about her, how she deals with her identity and her relationship. And the last book that I'm going to recommend and talk about today is Harrow Lake by Kat Ellis. So even though this isn't out until July, I am putting it on this list because when we were at YALC last year, everyone was asking me about this book, and we hadn't even got proofs yet. So clearly, highly anticipated this book is. So this is going to be great for if you are interested in reading a horror story. Harrow Lake is about a girl called Lola, whose father is a well-known horror filmmaker, but after he's attacked, she is sent to live at the site of one of his most famous movies with her grandmother. Only she starts to discover that maybe reality outside of the movies is just as dark as the films that her father makes. So those were 10 of the most anticipated books that are coming out at the start of this year. Let us know in the comments which one you are most excited to read, and don't forget you can enter a giveaway. Have a look in the description for information about that. And obviously subscribe to the platform for more bookish videos.